have arrived at a networking event, but nobody knows I'm here. I must let everyone know I'm here. There are 3 unsuspecting people right now.
Maybe there's a better way.
Hi, I'm Sandro Marc-Charles, and this is the first part of a multi-phase series called How Not to Be a Networking Ninja. So what exactly is a networking ninja? If you've ever been to a networking event where someone shoved a business card in your hand before moving to the next person to do the same thing, then you've met a networking ninja. The networking ninja often arrives late to networking events, hands out their business card to as many people as they can, then they quietly slip out before anyone even realizes they were there. Sometimes they stick around and display other undesirable qualities. And the number of referrals they get with those methods take about as much space as a puff of smoke. Uh-oh! Perhaps you've been a networking ninja? That's okay. It's not your fault. You didn't know any better. But now, stop it. It's not effective and it builds your reputation in the wrong direction. This series will be all about the do's and don'ts of attending in-person networking events. By the time we're done, you'll know the first part of phase 1 and why it's so important. But before we get started, let's clearly identify what falls under the description of a networking event. Anywhere where business people gather with the purpose of meeting other business people to potentially do business together and refer each other is a networking event. 2 examples of this are BNI meetings and Chamber of Commerce meetings. There are also lots of evening networking events across most cities. Just Google your city name and business networking events and you'll see what I mean. The methods you'll learn throughout this series will apply to these types of events in all different ways. Phase 1, preparation. Part 1, mindset. Before we go to a networking event, it's very important that we have the right mindset. We should be going to network events to make connections with people in order to build relationships. Once we build relationships, then our new contact may feel comfortable referring us to their contacts. In some cases, they may refer us to themselves, but that should not be our goal. The length of time all this takes could be from a few minutes to a few months. It depends on how quickly someone gets to know us, like us, and trust us. Our goal at a networking event is to get this process started. And here are 3 ways to encourage that. Number 1, be interested instead of interesting. People immediately like someone who's interested in them and the things that are important to them. We should be ready to share with them what we do, but even more important is to ask them questions to show that we're interested in them. This wins us more points than talking about ourselves ever will. Number 2, active listening. Active listening is a skill where we listen intently to what someone is saying without thinking about what we're going to say in return. It's a skill because it takes practice. When we give that person our full attention, they'll give us 1 point on a likability scoreboard. Number 3, remember their name and use it often. People love to hear the sound of their own name. It gives them that warm, fuzzy feeling. So first, let's make sure we get their name right. If it's a name that seems difficult to pronounce, we'll tell them that we'd like to pronounce it correctly and we'll ask them for their help. They'll appreciate this more than you know because it's likely that their name has already been butchered several times that day. Once we have their name down, we'll do what we can to remember it and use it often during our conversation with them. If you look closely, you'll see a little smile every time. Today we talked about how we can avoid being the dreaded networking ninja by having the right mindset before attending networking events, and we learned the easiest ways to encourage someone to know us, like us, and trust us is to be interested in them, actively listen, and use the correct pronunciation of their name often. As we come to a close, remember in preparation before going to our next networking event, let's take off the ninja mask and put on the right mindset.